Everybody, Pancho Sanchez Rodriguez coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. And I just thought I'd weigh in on a couple of pressing cultural issues. There seems to be some issues out there in Los Angeles on the riots, and I thought I'd give you my Latino perspective, even though, little known fact, that Pancho Sanchez, the last video I said Sancho, it was a new name to me, but it's Sanchez. Pancho Sanchez Rodriguez in Spanish means Burt Reynolds. Nonetheless, Burt Reynolds, some say it means Sam Elliott, but that's a whole nother discussion. But I want to talk about the LA riots and the insanity that's going on in Los Angeles. Just some facts. The instigators are foreign national radicals and homegrown terrorists, Antifa, the BLM crowd that's transmogrified into the Palestinian, pro-Palestinian, Free Palestine crowd is now transmogrifying into the anti-ICE crowd. So it's just this this conflation of radicals backed by Soros money and the usual players, SEIU International, which is a taxpayer-funded a public union, get a lot of tax money going to the SEIU, which is a radical Marxist organization that is subversive to the United States of America. And the fact that they receive any tax dollars whatsoever is a disgrace. But so this is an organized situation. Much like the Black Lives Matter was organized in 2020, and it's a complete, if you will, pardon my Spanish, clusterfuck, brought on by the 100% sponsorship of the Democrat Party. This is a Democrat-sponsored disaster, Democrat-fueled, Democrat. 100% of the responsibility is the Democrat Party and Joe Biden. Joe Biden made this happen. Kamala Harris made this happen. Alejandro Mayorkas of the DHS under Biden made this happen. And it is an absolute total disgrace. This is a disgrace on every level. There's no provocation going on. If you send in the National Guard to put down what is already an ongoing, active, riotous, violent insurrection, if you will, it is not an instigation to try to stop it with overwhelming force. Okay, if you like in 2020, they backed off. Like, for example, in Minneapolis, they allowed the police station to be completely overrun and destroyed by radical BLM terrorists and anarchists in the streets. The result was complete anarchy and the complete annihilation of city blocks and the burning down and looting of a large portion of Minneapolis. So if you do that again, take away forceful measures and threats, arrest no one, you will get complete and utter anarchy and completely surrender the streets to leftist, Marxist, foreign terrorist, people supporting Mexican nationalists, waving the burning and spitting on the American flag in the streets, throwing concrete chunks at cops, using deadly force, which is exactly what that is. And you would completely surrender the streets to these terrorist thugs that are 100% beholden to the Democrat Party and sponsored by the Democrat Party. Now, it is let me make this point very clear. Pancho Sanchez Rodriguez coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee. Let's make one thing very clear. What Joe Biden did, what the Democrat Party did, with the people around Biden, whether he had the mental faculties to grasp what was going on or not. And for sure, Alejandro Mayorkas, who was the DHS secretary under Joe Biden, what they did is the biggest disgrace in American history. They opened the borders. They did not enforce any immigration laws. They in fact perverted the immigration and asylum laws on the books to allow as many foreign national criminals into our country, and from all around the globe, like 110 different countries, all throughout Africa, Chinese nationals, tens of millions of people poured into this country, and obviously millions from Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador, you name it, from Central and South America. The estimates up to 15 to 20 million in a 4-year span. It's the biggest, most treasonous disgrace in American history. And we are now, under Donald Trump, new sheriff, we're reaping the fruits of that disgrace. This is 100% the Democrat Party's fault. We're not, the Trump administration, God bless them, is not going to allow it this time. I hope not. Lip service is one thing, action is another thing, but they cannot let this anarchy and these anarchists rule the streets of Los Angeles, waving Mexican flags, burning and looting American businesses. They can't let it happen this time, or we have completely lost our country. This is a massive disgrace. We support law and order, and if you don't bust heads, if you don't make arrest, if you don't take the people chucking 5 and 10 pound chunks of concrete, endangering the lives of ICE agents at their cars going by at high speed, if you don't arrest these people and put them in prison for basically, that's attempted murder, we're talking 30 years. If you don't bust these people and reestablish order in the streets, we've lost our country. So it's an existential crisis. It is an insurrection, a legitimate one, as opposed to the January 6th, which is a bunch of yahoos, some people push some cops around, and then some looky-loos wandered around the frickin' Capitol, and they called it the biggest crisis since Pearl frickin' Harbor. The Democrats who are actually behind this actual insurrection. And then we've lost our country. So God bless the Trump administration, the people who are trying to reestablish law and order, the DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, Kash Patel, the FBI, Dan Bongino, deputy guy at the FBI, and Bondi, DOJ. This needs to be put down with a vengeance. It can't allow it to fester and grow. If you let it grow, we got a shit show like 2020 all over again. And if you'll remember, I'm from Portland, Oregon. I was in Portland in 2020, summer of 2020, under a different name when they used to call me Greg Halverson. I am now Pancho Sanchez Rodriguez. But they allowed in 2020. They allowed a federal courthouse to be under siege for 100 days in a row. They endangered lives. They shot laser beams into the eyeballs of federal officers and police officers. They let Antifa rule the streets then, and we can't let that ever happen again. That was a disgrace for the ages, and this is a growing disgrace. And the LA mayor, Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, who's the biggest douchebag, slimy, weasel, scumbag person to ever be perhaps in the governorship of any state in the entire history of the country. We can't let these scumbags do this gaslighting thing where the Trump administration is provoking this. This is driven by Marxist radicals, fully funded and organized. All of them Democrats, all of them donors, mega donors to the Democrat Party. Obviously, Gavin Newsom is part of that apparatus. So don't let them gaslight you into believing this is somehow, a Trump's manufactured crisis. It is not. It is a true lawless insurrection against our nation, featuring foreign nationals brought here by the Democrat Party and Joe Biden. So that's the truth on the situation going on, the riots in Los Angeles. They need to be put down with vengeance, a force, and no quarter for the people doing these riots. These domestic terrorists is what they are. You've heard it, the straight shot right here from Nashville, Tennessee. My name is Pancho Sanchez Rodriguez, Greg Halverson. Pancho Sanchez Rodriguez, Burt Reynolds in Spanish for you bilingual people and people below the border. God bless you, God bless America. Keep speaking the truth, and we'll come and get at you again real soon. Bye-bye.